Hi, Jen. I want to thank you for that very kind introduction, but I want to thank you more for your inspiring leadership and your stubborn vision that domestic workers and nannies and caregivers and housekeepers should get the respect and the fair rewards that all work should earn. Let's have a round of applause for her, please. I got to tell you, I'm proud to be a partner with you. It's my privilege. Let me also thank the Campaign for America's Future, Bob Borsage and Roger Hickey, and all of their colleagues for all that you do. I want to congratulate you for coming together with Move On and Rebuild the Dream to move our country's focus from the cold profits of a corporate and financial elite centered on Wall Street to the lives and to the future of America's people. See, friends, a lot of people got arrested last weekend on the Brooklyn Bridge, and there's no wonder why, right? Millions out of work, millions thrown out of their homes, and the bonuses keep flowing, and Wall Street wants more tax cuts for corporations, less regulation, so they can do what they just did to us all over again. My question is, just when is enough enough? See, today, a lot of people, not just on Wall Street, but all over America, are asking some basic questions. Whatever happened to the promise of America? And how can we build an independent movement to rebuild the American dream? Now think about this. Bank of America, which makes about $1 billion a month, announces that it's going to charge customers $5 a month to use their own money to shop with their own debit cards. Now, mind you, this is the financial giant that paid its global marketing and president nearly $30 million last year, and this year turned around and announced that it's going to fire 30,000 workers. 25 million Americans are desperately looking for full-time work. Joblessness among young people is through the roof. One out of three Black and Latino children lives in poverty in the land of penny, in the richest nation on the face of the earth. 1 out of 3 of our children living in poverty. But the CEOs of our biggest companies, well, they just got a 23% raise. 23%. We bar the education door to dream students because they're not legal. But it's perfectly fine for banks and their lawyers to file millions of false affidavits and use them to seize the homes of working families. I got to ask, what kind of strange morality is that? See, my brothers and sisters, America is upside down. The joblessness are blamed for the employment crisis. Public teachers, cops, firefighters are vilified for government shortfalls, while America's biggest companies, the brand name companies that employ about 1/5 of American workers, well, they cut their U.S. workforce by 2.9 million over the last 10 years, and they added 2.4 million jobs overseas. See, working men and working women have no jobs and they have no money to spend. The years from 1997 to 2010 represent the first protracted decline of American family income since the Great Depression. Think about this. Over the past 30 years, the median wealth of African American households fell by 2/3. 2/3. It's now $2,200. That's the median wealth. Let that sink in for a moment. The pain, the loss, the reversal of progress. And I have to ask, when are we going to recognize this as a crisis? A job crisis, not a debt crisis, a job crisis. Because when jobs go, we all lose, every last one of us. We lose our ability to support our families, to pay for our homes, to have thriving communities. And we lose our social fabric. Work isn't just what supports our family. It's not just a paycheck. Aside from our families and our faith, work is what defines us. It's who we are. It's how we contribute to the world. It's how we leave a legacy with our work. Work connects every one of us, every last one of us together. And when 1 in 6 people can't find the work that defines and dignifies our lives, the harm is deep and it's long-lasting for individuals and families and for communities and for our nation. You see, we the people are angry. And who can blame us for being angry, right? So the question becomes, where will that anger go? Toward hatred and extremism? Or toward building a future that works for everyone who lives and works here in America? See? Today we have a Tea Party that's inspired, a Tea Party-inspired right wing that's banking on an upside-down America for its path to political power. They got a four-part plan. Listen to this. First, they do everything they can to keep our economy on the rocks. No money for job, no way. Keep people hurting and keep them angry. Second, they fan the flames of anti-government angst by making sure our government looks dysfunctional, gridlocked and lurching, from funding deadline to phony crisis deadline. Third, they're ginning up this season's version of divide and conquer. Set taxpayers against public employees. Jobless Americans against immigrants. And finally, they're doing their damnedest to make sure that the electorate in 2012 looks nothing like the electorate of 2008. Disenfranchising new voters with voter ID laws, suppressing student voters, and a whole lot more. And the next stop for their agenda here in Washington, quite frankly, is 3 lousy trade deals that are coming up right now. Question is, yeah, you can applaud for 3 lousy trade deals for sure. Really, should we be saying yes to the Korea FTA that'll destroy 159,000 U.S. jobs? Should we approve an agreement with Colombia where 51 trade unionists last year were assassinated for coming together to try to bring their families out of the grinding poverty that exists in Colombia? Should we be doing that? No. There's a group of CWA workers that are passing around these leaflets. This is a phone international or a phone thing to oppose the Colombia trade agreement for tomorrow. Asking everybody to do that tomorrow. The question becomes also, should we trade away even more jobs to Panama, a country that routinely tramples workers' rights, shelters money launderers, and corporate tax dodgers? You see, if you agree that the answer is no, then you need to join me and your brothers and sisters in Congress calling Congress to let them know. And here's a number you can call today to do that. It's 800-718-1234. 1008 today. We need to get hundreds of calls into Congress today, and I'll repeat that number, 800-718-1008. Now, thank God that the Senate passed a bill yesterday to stop the Chinese government's manipulation of its currency that has destroyed so many jobs. Now we need John Boehner to bring it up on the floor of the House. Fat chance? Not if enough of us call and force him to do it. We have that power to get it done, believe me. And after we stop that, then we face the super committee. Now, let's put down our markers right now on that one. Let's say it out loud that we'll fight anyone from any party who wants to cut Social Security or Medicare or Medicaid benefits. We will fight them and stop them, right? As Warren Buffett said, it's time for the rich to pay their fair share. And my friends, it's pretty clear that what we have to do. And I think the people in this room are ready to do it. Now's the time for a mighty movement for jobs and a just economy. America wants to work, and we won't stop pushing, fighting, shoving, and kicking until every last one of them is back at work. And our first step is to get President Obama's American Job Act passed, and his demand that millionaires and billionaires who've profited so handsomely pay their fair share of taxes to create jobs. See, like many of you in this room, I've been one of the first to call out President Obama when I thought it was needed. But when he's doing the right thing, when he's doing the courageous thing, it's time for us to have his back and push that bill through and put people back to work. And we have to be united and visible and loud if we're going to tell the Tea Party Republicans and wavering Democrats too that they'd better get to work creating jobs, or we'll give them a pink slip in November whenever their job's up for things. You see, it's time to turn up the heat with a massive militant movement for jobs, because this isn't my movement and it isn't your movement. This has to be our movement, an American movement for jobs, a movement to turn our country right side up again and put working people at the top of the heap, not at the bottom of the heap. See, it's up to us to retake the narrative and then retake the streets. And then we need to remake the streets, because our roads and our bridges and our schools and our transit and water systems are a wreck. And fixing what we need needs to be fixed now to make our country competitive in the future will create jobs. And this work can't be a part-time job for us. It isn't something that we also do. This is it. This has to be what we do. You see, to win, we have to come together. We have to have open arms. We have to build the coalitions that have the power to win. In the labor movement, we're reaching out too. My sister, you'll hear from next, Mary Kay Henry. She'll tell you we're reaching out together, because what unites us all is so much greater than anything that divides us. You see? And we're reaching out to non-union workers in our communities, workers who don't even have the legal rights to form unions, through Working America, and in partnership with worker centers and taxi cab drivers in New York, and car wash workers in Los Angeles, and guest workers, and the domestic workers that Ajahn Poo represents in such a great fashion. See, I hope each and every one of you plans to turn out tomorrow for the Jobs, Not Cuts rally on Capitol Hill, because that's what we need. All of us together, all across the country, with a principled, relentless demand for action now. See, the rally will be a great kickoff for the America Wants to Work National Week of Action that the AFL-CIO announced for October 10th through the 16th. Everywhere in America, we'll be holding congressional feet to the fire, hosting tours of bridges and roads that desperately need repair in communities that desperately need jobs. Come to our website, theaflcio.org, for a map that lets you send a message to Congress about the crumbling bridges and the unemployment rate in your state, and share with your email list and other website visitors. And then let's all support this demand for Wall Street to pay its fair share. And let's roll right into Ohio, where we have a must-win vote in November to stop John Kasich's theft of collective bargaining rights. We need your help to win, and we will win. You see, we got a long way to go, and the road will be rocky, and it'll be rough, and we'll fall down, and we'll get up, and we'll keep marching and rallying and fighting. When we call for jobs, they'll say, government can't create jobs. And we'll say, just you watch. We'll make government create jobs. Because government action is the only way to create jobs right now. And we'll call for investments in jobs, and they'll say, America is broke. No, America isn't broke. But our politics are broken. We've got politicians whose priorities are broken. When we call for fair taxes on those who fed on America's economic collapse, they'll cry class warfare. But I got to tell you, it wasn't our class who declared war on working people and people work for a living. If they want to have a debate on class warfare, bring it on down. We'll have that debate. Nothing less than the dreams and the future is at stake. Van Jones says, we stand for one nation under God, with liberty and with justice for all. It's time, brothers and sisters, that we take this country back for the workers who build it, who make it, repair it, who put it to sleep and wake it up every day. It's our time. God bless you. Thank you. Do we have some time for a question or two? I can't see anybody out there, so somebody will have to call on them. Yes, right here.
We need help in Florida. It's the corporate state of Florida. There's a mic.
Yeah, wait till the mic comes.
We have no unions. It's a right-to-work state. We have no unions. It's hard to get the people to even admit or talk politics. If you're a Democrat, and I am, and I'm the only one in my neighborhood.
Microphone, we can't hear it.
Wait, is that you have to go to the microphone? Oh, there is a microphone back there. You got to go back there. I'm going to call on the guy at the mic. Go ahead.
President Trumka, all right. Sorry.
I'm just saying we need help in Florida really badly. Well, I'm a Democrat, and I'm the only Democrat in my neighborhood. It's a right-to-work state, so we have no unions. We don't hear about town hall meetings because the media is not there for us. The only camaraderie I feel is when I can tune in to MSNBC, and hopefully, now that Comcast has kind of jumped in, you know, they're restricted now. So, you know, this is what we're doing here. Such a inspiring, wonderful thing. And I just wish that we could get town hall union leaders, stewards, whatever we can get in Florida and get some kind of a camaraderie there, a union, a uniting of the people. I think even Democrats would come out if they could see and feel what we have here. But they don't. They have Fox News.
They what?
And they have Fox News. If I go in my neighbor's house to visit, which I don't anymore, Fox News is on the channel. If I go to my son's house, I can't talk politics because they're Fox News as well. But I'm not going to tie up this line. I just wanted you to know, Mr. Trumka, we need a lot of union representation in Florida because that's the only way, and that's the only strength that we would have.
Help's a coming, sister. Florida's an important state. Here's what we need all of you to do, each and every one of you. Look, they've so tamped down the expectation of America's workers. Workers don't believe they're entitled to anything, let alone demand anything. It's up to us to raise those level of expectations, to let them know that there are certain things that every American citizen, every person in this country is entitled to. And that's a good job that pays a decent wage and a voice on the job with the union. That means health care. That means retirement security. That means we all have to come together to create that expectation so that our members, so that all workers start to demand things. That's a risk to us. They're going to demand that we produce. And if you don't produce, my experience has been that they run up your back, tap dance on your head for a half an hour, and run right on by you. But that's a good thing. Help us create that demand, that expectation, that belief and that hope that every American is entitled to certain things. Time off with their family, a quality education for their kids, a higher education where their brains will take them, not their daddy or mommy's paycheck will take them. When we do that, when we start to create that expectation, it won't matter what the party label is. We'll run over all of those politicians and create a better America and economy that works for everyone. Thanks.